Alright. I think we're live. Yeah, I think we're live. We're good, we're good. OBS? Wait, why did someone link OBS? Okay. Permanent Computing Wiki. Jesus, it's hot. Wikipedia Enterprise on Google Internet Archive as its first customers. Interesting. What is a Wikimedia Enterprise? Oh, I guess instead of EngWiki, it's now like a Wikipedia styled thing. That's actually pretty fucking cool. Actually, I like this. And the fact that Google is gonna go behind it, like this is really fucking cool. Interesting companies can line up on a snapshot. Wikimedia powers some of Google's features instead of being data sources for knowledge panels. Internet Archive as well. Yeah. No, this is so cool. You know what? I actually want to see what exactly this looks like. Snapshot API. Ah. Okay. I'm curious, like, how someone with system design actually this. So, article body, identifier version, API. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. Actually, you know what? Let's open up Emerald Kaizo. Because I cannot beat this fucking... I cannot beat Roxanne. I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure I got it right? Oh, wait. Okay, so let me explain how insane this is right now. I put a level cap on myself, but accidentally Fanfi kind of went over it. So whatever, right? I mean, Modest is kind of trash nature, to be fair. So here's like the moveset. Q-Mode, Bone Club, Rocklo, Secret Power. Level 15 Sproink, Volt Orb, level 16. Again, over the level cap, and then Torchic, and then Makuyuta, right? And some of the moves have been like really buffed. Like the Force Palm was base 16 move, right? But okay, let me actually show you how insane this has been. I've been trying to beat my head against this for like 3 days now, and I can't fucking do it. You would think like if you played Pokemon in the past, right? It should be like in theory very easy, but it's really not. Watch this. So start Mud Shot, lowered speed. I think I can. Do I switch out here? Yeah, he's got like what's it called, a berry juice. So I can take like 5 of these. Although I don't know if I need Fanfi later on in the fight, which is a problem. Okay. The fuck? I think I pretty much died. I think Fanfi dies before the Nosepass even gets tagged. Like I don't actually have anything else here, do I? Oh wait, and let me show you something. Okay, so like, okay, no problem. Let me use a potion. Nope. The fuck is this? I can't use a potion. I can't heal. So the next question is, do I want to sacrifice Sproink to bring in someone else? Or do I want to go straight to the Volt Orb? I think I go straight for the Volt. I think I go for Sproink. So I cannot fucking heal this battle at all. Okay, and then Nosepass blows up. All right, cool. All right, let's see. I think all right, so I actually made the surprisingly the right call there. I think she brings out Relicanth, right? Oh god, no. Okay, that was a bad play. So who do I sack for this? I get the feeling that they just use Ingrain, right? So the AI probably doesn't see like a kill opportunity on me, so I think I go for Torchic, right? But then they just throw Rock, unless they use Rock Throw, right? Yeah, I mean, I'll sacrifice Torchic. I don't think Torchic actually does anything in this fight. Yeah, there we go. Rock type. And don't get the Omni boost. Ah, crap. I got the Omni boost. Nice. Jesus Christ. You see how hard this is? They just one-shot you. I mean, to be fair, it's a super effective move, but still. Okay, so who do I want to send out? I think Makuhita is the right one. So with the Omni boost, I think she's faster. Oh wait, does Makuhita have really shitty special defense? Oh, what the hell? Oh no! Not like this! Not like this! Okay, alright, ultra high defense. I don't have anything that busts through special defense, actually. That's so bad. The only thing I can use is Voltorb, but like, because of the fire, what's it called? The grass rock type mixing, I get completely screwed here. I can't win. I actually can't win this fight. Like, the only one that would have possibly been able to do anything would have been Sproik, but it's dead. So, this fight is lost. What do I do? What do I do, dude? There's not, like, literally just straight up outspeeds it, and even if I go with Phanpy, I think the AI will just, outspeed because of the +1 boost. And there's no move I can use to take it out in one shot because it's just gonna... Okay, I mean, Ice Shark gives it priority, but even then, there's no way I kill it. See? And they just do Giga Drain and it dies. How do I beat this? And then Voltorb does nothing, you know, we wipe here. Alright, you know, I'll wipe just for the fun of it. Alright, well, GG. Alright, let me bring my client on, screw it. Yeah! The Lily fucking sweeped! What do I do, dude? What do I do? This is how hard Kaizo is! And I put a level cap for myself, and I even went above it! Yeah, whatever. I don't know, I can't beat Roxanne. I gotta figure out another way to do this. Maybe I should learn how the AI works. Anyway, let's bring on my client and see what's up. Cause fuck this. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Congrats on the Microsoft thing, and yeah, looks like we got some results from Amazon.
Yeah, not so good, but yeah, there are results, right?
I mean, it feels good to wrap up everything. We didn't get the Amazon offer, but you know, we got the Microsoft offer. We're good on that. So all's well that ends well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I take my foot out of the gas, you know, like this past 2 weeks about Amazon because my main focus was Microsoft actually. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like we had a few hiccups, right? This was not something we terribly practiced a lot for. I mean, some of the problems that you did mention, we did show up, but not all of them did. And also that we didn't really have that good practice with it either. So.
Yeah. And from my perspective, they put like a lot of weight in behavioral questions, like those leadership principles, you know. I think, yeah. Anyways, I think that play a big role in their interview more than in Microsoft, you know. In Microsoft, it's, for example, one question, one behavioral question, and that's it, you know. And then they dig into this question, that's it. But Amazon is like 3 questions per interview, you know, so much more dense in that sense.
That makes sense, yeah. And so, you know, we won't know until we get the feedback. But I guess, yeah, let's chat today about like your overall experience with like, you know, the coaching, the interview, and hopefully the people listening can get like insight into how you succeeded, what worked for you, and what didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like, what in specific? Like, can I start?
Yeah. So don't worry. Treat this as like like has a casual chat. I'll just throw you the questions and then you give whatever response you want. Go into depth as you want. Whatever insights you want to
All
give,
right.
and it's a
Okay.
free. It's a like conversation, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Just have fun.
Okay. Yeah. Let me put the context here.
Yeah.
So, well, I
Let's start from the
discovered your
beginning.
channel right around
Mm-hmm.
May
Yeah.
last year, and it's where I started to practice for coding interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I had a few experiences last year, but did not go so well.
Uh-huh.
But I was studying, following the resources because I felt like, and this guy doesn't have like much of subscribers, but the videos he put, is like with a lot of quality. It's just be enough so you can pass. If you follow the guide, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
data points.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I chose your methodology and followed through it.
Nice.
And yeah, but yeah, then like around October, that was my first interview with Meta, Facebook. The recruiter, after I received my rejection, the recruiter said to me, "Well, uh, like you may be gonna have another opportunity in January, maybe, right?" And like a month later, a recruiter from Microsoft emailed me as well, like, "Okay, you might gonna have the opportunity to interview with us like next month."
Okay.
No, next month, no, like in January, beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, man, I'm gonna give my best in this end of the year, rest a little bit around the holidays. But then when I received like the actual emails from Meta and Microsoft, I said to myself, man, okay, I'm working now, I can afford this. I'm gonna try my best with Edberg, show what I did, like my progress, and let's see what happened, So I deep dive, uh, and yeah, so basically that was the beginning of the story. Uh, but yeah, like one thing to mention, like I'd say in the beginning was pretty hard to me, because like of the workload,
Mm-hmm.
like in the beginning, I was I can send you a picture, like because I used to track all of my hours of studying,
Mm-hmm.
And was kind of very hard because it was like three. I think we agreed in 3 or 4 hours per night,
Something like that.
So, yeah, and during the weekends, I think. And like, man, imagine I was like working during the first weeks, and when it got to the Saturday, and you said, "No, you're not anything near to what I expect," And I was like, "Oh man, I'm very far from this," But yeah, I kept like putting to work, and was one of my biggest challenges in life. But yeah, I think, but one thing I kept in mind, like since I'm in the last year before graduation, senior year, I think to myself, man, that's the best opportunity for me to graduate and then go to the US. That was my end goal, because for those that don't know, I'm from Brazil. So that was my main goal since the beginning. And I said, man, I cannot lose this opportunity. So I put all my resources, and basically that was it.
Yeah. And it worked out, right? We had one shot at this, and we hit that one shot. So, yeah.
Good. I wanted this so bad. You have no idea. I have no idea. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I could tell you wanted it, and like the fact that you didn't like give up on it, like that's perfect. Because based on what you just told me, it sounds like you're not really used to like that level of intensity, that level of detail, that level of that level of work that I asked you to do.
Yes. I'm not that used to it. I'm not. The only experience I had quite similar is around to getting into universities here in Brazil. You need to pass through a very hard test. It's like that one grade that defines if you got into the university or not. Was kind of similar, but here is a much shorter time frame. Yeah. Anyways, it's very similar. And I said to myself, man, those things happen just once in every 5 years, So, and the opportunities are great. It worth a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So basically, one of the reasons why I was like willing to take you on, because like I think I've seen you a few times in the chat.
Yeah.
I've seen, and then you asked me, and like, hey, I need you, like, to do this, and like, I heard your circumstance, like, you really need this to happen, right? And those are the kind of people I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
want to work with, like people who, like, I think I mentioned this before, people who know that I'm like the method of last resort, you know, like I need you, or else I have nowhere else to go, and because of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
it's like wall to the like back to the, against the wall, like and I'm willing to stick with you, you know, and make it happen, and we made it happen. You know, there was a few complications, you know, in the beginning where it's like you gotta be more detailed, you gotta be more focused, you gotta really, really scrutinize every single little bit of your mistakes. So one of the first things that I kind of
Yeah.
want to chat about is really that mental shift. I think I had you really relentless. I had you. I was basically like for the first 2 months. I remember it was just like me trying to get you. You gotta be more detailed. You gotta be more focused, and all that.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about like what it took to really make that shift properly, because you know for a while it wasn't clicking, and then I think all of a sudden it just like all came together for you. So talk a little bit about like going through that
Mm,
process.
yeah, let me think here.
Hmm.
Mm, I think let me just think about this
Yeah.
answer
Yeah. No
because
problem.
it's very. I think like one of the things that get me into pressure
Uh huh.
is the time. You
Yeah.
know, like in the first weeks, I kind of was more not relaxed,
Hmm.
but yeah, I was not getting the idea you want me to go. You know,
Hmm.
like the type of answer because it was to be honest here, it was not so clear. You know,
Right.
because once I get one of the points you
Hmm.
said to me to get better,
Yep.
like there was like a lot of other points, you know,
Hmm.
and I was kind of lost in the
Yeah.
beginning, to be honest, you
Okay.
know. But like I think the mental shift came when you gave me that model
Hmm.
that Pavlov did, I
Hmm.
think, right? And like you know how to think
Hmm.
that really stick with me.
Hmm.
And another thing that I think is very important as well.
Hmm.
Like sometimes when you got mad, you
Hmm.
know, man, you understand the like how serious that is, you know.
Hmm.
Like I think to myself, man, this needs to happen. I
Hmm.
will not give up, you know.
Hmm.
So I better like change, otherwise I'm gonna lose the opportunity, you know. And
Hmm.
I didn't want this
Right.
to happen.
Hmm.
So I think like the pressure makes good things as
Hmm.
well. Like, but yeah, that was pretty much it. And when I have like a certain direction
Hmm.
with pressure, you know,
Hmm.
I I I, I said to myself, man, it's just put into work, and
Hmm.
this is gonna happen.
Yeah. So for you, you know, for some other people like what's it called, Russell, I think once I showed him like the example of the practice
Uh,
diary, I think he finally understood and got it. And then for you, like I think once you saw an example, you kind of understood and got it. Although I think with him,
yeah,
I didn't quite give him the example, but with you, I was like, okay, here's the example, here's the samples, but then here's all the things that he's also doing as well. And you know, like, I think for you, what happened is like you saw it, but you only copied the form of it. You didn't like go into as much detail as he did. And then I was like, you have to be
yeah,
more detailed. You got to scrutinize everything. And then week by
yeah,
week, it's like it got a little bit better, got a little better, got a little bit more detailed. And then like I think by the
yeah,
time we were like I think 2 weeks from Microsoft, it finally started clicking. Like this is the level of detail I really really need to get into. And you were like
yeah,
digging into everything, every little detail.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every time you were like always rephrasing, cover your ass, you know,
Hmm.
cover your ass.
Yeah.
You don't this can happen because
Hmm.
yeah, cover your ass.
Hmm.
And this is really sticking to my mind, you know,
Yeah.
because and I should not give margin to anything bad to
Hmm.
happen, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that one sticks until today. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, and it's good because that's literally what's going to happen in your actual work. You're going to need to give projections on like project timelines. You're going to need to figure out how things work, right? And so it's always helpful not
yeah,
just to think about, hey, why does this work? It's like, how does this like not work, or why
uh-huh.
am I wrong? So this mental model will stay
Yeah,
with you forever. And
for sure.
one of the things I noticed is that for a lot of like younger people, like there's
Mhm.
a much higher chance of over optimism. That's not necessarily your fault, right? It's just nature of like, oh yeah, everything up until now has been like, you know, like pretty well defined, right? You go to college, get
Yeah,
grades, complete the course, right? But now it's
yeah,
almost like, well, you have to set your own path. You have to figure out what works, what doesn't, and you have to do it with a bunch of heuristics that you have practiced with. And this is like one of the
yeah,
reasons why I've been hesitant in the past to really take on clients because I was like who are younger, is because making that mental shift, that mental jump, is already like half, if not 70% of the battle, and it's very, very difficult. You know, it's like trying to convince someone that they're wrong about their worldview. Like, you know, try convincing someone about like politics on Facebook or something like that. I'm convinced you'll change their mind.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, because the way you view the world is going to be has completely changed, right? I think you can agree with that in the past 4 months. Like, the way you think about engineering and what coding is completely different than what you did at the beginning.
For sure.
And so that's like that's like a very, very big part of it. I think that's very, very understated as well. And so, not to ramble on here, but the point I'm trying to make here is that is the big mental shift there. Like, you were actually able to get there. But what do you think it would take for someone else to get there? Do you think, because for me, what I see is like everyone has different problems. But for you, what do you think most people should focus on when they want to make that mental jump? At least when working with me.
And I think be open to feedback and really apply it, you know, and really, it's not like, okay, Edward, okay, yeah, I know I'm wrong, you know, not something like superficial. It's something that needs to account every single word you said, you know, like, because you have the experience, you know, so kind of basically you're given a direction, you know, so I'd rather try like 10 things that Edward pointed out to me, you know, and see if they work, and try each one very deep, you know, other than, just, okay, I just going to consider the ones that I am most familiar, because otherwise it's just like a comfort zone kind of thing, you know. So one thing I really make sure that really helped me during the sessions, you know, is like rewatch every session, you know, and make points about all the things you emphasize during the sessions. So for example, cover your ass with the examples, you know, you must to be much more detailed. So if you do a plan about the code, stick to the plan, don't change your mind, you know. So all of those things I took a note and tried to work on them during the week, you know. So be open to your feedback and really apply them. I think it's like the only thing that people who wants to work with you need. Like put it to work 100%, 110%.
I mean, it's I think definitely some of the problems that I've had in the past with people is like it doesn't click with them, right? But part of it is also like I also wonder how much emphasis and detail they're really going into you know, their examination. I think you would agree that for you the way you thought about your mistakes and your study was vastly different than in the beginning.
For sure.
Yeah. What do you think changed? Was it like the seriousness of it? Do you think you had a better eye for your own mistakes? What do you think really helped you there?
I think like the seriousness would be changed with my level of critics against like about the things I was doing, you know. Even though I was very committed since the beginning, I didn't have like much of what you want me to look on my answers, you know, about the details. So like I think like be able to recognize my own mistakes and my own tendencies, you know, is the thing that changed from the beginning to the end.
Got it.
And really helped me to here I am doing this thing again. No, I cannot do it, you know. So, and one thing that really bothered me in the beginning was the time, and like, you know, like those, I always was pressured by the time. But when you said to me like, man, you should like apply all you learned, you know, and then like with time you're gonna get better. Speed will gonna come with time, you know. So like I really applied that as well.
Right, it's the quality over quantity sort of deal here, where people like kind of think, oh, if I do like 1,000 LeetCode problems, I'll be ready. And you know, I brought up examples of like, hey, people do like 500 LeetCode problems and still suck at problem solving. But with you, I think you only did like 200 or 250 with me, and you got really good. You got pretty good at it. I think even you're at a point where you could literally start teaching other people the exact same thing. I think granted with like some difficulty of troubleshooting what they're. What they do, but overall, I think you can still do a pretty fairly good job, better than like most other people, I think.
Good. Yeah. Good to hear.
Yeah. So sorry, do you want to say something?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so I kind of want to go to the next thing, which is like let's talk a little bit about the interview process, the interviews that we took, and we did. One of them was the meta interview, but we agreed that you were way too you weren't ready for that.
I was not ready. It was
Yeah.
in the beginning, and like for the online assessment, I was not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And but for the actual interview, yeah, I was not like the point I was for Microsoft. But anyways, I was. Yeah. Anyways, I think Meta, I was not ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both knew that heading in, and we couldn't reschedule it. I think we were stuck there, which is, it happens, and we do what we can
Yeah.
with it. So, what do you think was the difference between you when you went to Microsoft versus you when you went into Meta?
I think, yeah, the level of how prepared I was, like in Meta, I was kind of, I was starting to get the heuristics, about how to think about a problem and how to explain, and I think I was kind of slow during that time as well.
Yeah.
I think that plays a big role as well. And because I was able to solve only one question in a phone screen. And I heard that most of Meta phone screens, they require 2 questions to be solved. I think that, but yeah, I think that I was not too prepared in terms of speed, and recognize the patterns. Like I was not ready yet. And there was a point when I used to get stuck in a question and really not knowing where to go, But like with the things I was practicing during our coaching sessions, I get better in like try different perspectives, For example, consider the examples. Try to look what you can do to solve this question, and like in a more systematic way. Because there was some sessions you really said to me, okay, if you don't know, try again and try to look for like it's not about the tools, it's about how you're gonna use them. So that really helps. And at Microsoft, I kind of know where to use the tools, I think really helped me, and what to explore, so then I can solve the question. For example, for Meta, the second question was to convert a binary tree into a doubly linked list. Yeah, that was it. I didn't know how to leverage the fact of using 2 pointers. And during Microsoft, there was one question that was pretty similar, is to delete all of the repeated nodes for the tree. I didn't know how to solve this in the beginning, but I kind of like explore all my possibilities, that the question gave me, and kind of, in a more systematic way that I improved a lot during this gap. And I was able to solve the question, like that was basically what changed between Meta and Microsoft. That systematic thinking, you really emphasize a lot of in your session.
Yeah, so basically, to summarize, is basically your overall methodology for approaching these problems improved to the point where you could literally solve problems that you've never seen before. And
Exactly.
and it was like so easy and logical. Even though you weren't like the most clean at it, you weren't the most like fastest at it, you were still very logical and able to progress through the problem cleanly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was basically this,
Right. So,
and I think that was it. And like just to mention one point, like this friend of mine, the Amazon, works at Amazon. Like I used to do a lot of mock interviews with him, like during all the process, he helped me a lot as well. But there was like some points when I was like doing the coaching sessions with you. He said to me, "Man, I think there's nothing much to comment about your performance, because there's only nitpicks, And is where I really could see like, man, it's getting the effect I want,
Yeah.
So he really helped me a lot. I'm gonna buy snacks for him, as you mentioned.
Yeah. When you get to the U.S., just buy him like a few fucking beers. Yeah, and like what? I'll buy him one too, since technically, he helped you, and which helps me. So I'll pass on a beer to him too. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but I kind of want to make a point a little bit about that. Is that I think it was around the 2.5 month mark that we started getting comments like, "Wow, it's getting really good and clean." I would say like 2 months in. Yeah.
2 months in. I'd say 2 months in. Yeah.
And
if you look, I sent you a picture about like my timeline.
Wait, let me see the timeline. Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's open this link. All right.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think that's the right one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what's 783? What am I looking at here?
No, you're looking up the hours.
Oh, all the hours. This is the number of hours that you actually studied each day.
Yeah, each day. Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. So I see 7 4 3 3 3 7 7. Yeah, this is a pretty brutal schedule for like a lot of people. But yeah, like on average, it's like looks like about 3 to 4 hours per week, and then 4 hours on the weekday, and then 6 to 7 on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. So basically, those are the liquid hours.
Yeah.
And that's those X's on the 31st. Was like when I was about to burn out after the.
Yeah. I remember we put in like on the 6th week and 7th week. I literally said take a week and a half off.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah, and then you had the interview, and then everything turned out gravy. Yeah, and I think that's like that's one thing I noticed is that for around the 6th week, I have to give people the time off, otherwise they straight up burn out. And that's something I learned actually from Russell, is that I should probably Pavel taught at because like he was burning out, and so I transferred that over to Russell, and then now it seems like it's working with you. So I pretty much hit that mark pretty well. So like my job is like really to manage like the stuff that you can't see as far as your own performance goes. But it's overall like you still put in a lot of work here. Like seriously, like overall, if we just added up, that's easily under 30 hours a week.
Yeah, basically that's it. I think I took a note. If you look at in the end of each week, I make the sum. Like you can see 33 in the first,
33.
like 30, 24 in the It's like those are like the compound considering the past weeks, and like the other squares like for each week.
Yeah, so up until Microsoft, it basically took like 200 or so hours, 250 hours. I'd say.
Basically, yeah, I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to miss this chance. So
wait. Oh, Microsoft was the 30th, right? All right. So actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's about 200 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it actually didn't take as long as I think you would have expected. Because 200 hours of good practice. I always say like it's 100 hours of good practice, but for you it was like the first 100 hours was like trying to change your mentality anyway. And then the next 100 hours kind of was there to supplement that. So yeah, like that's really good. So let's talk a little bit about the Microsoft interview itself. So walk us through the phone screen and the on-site, like how your experiences with them, what problems you did, and like what your feeling was after each one.
Okay. So basically on the 30th, you can see that was the phone screen, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it was pretty like simple in terms of like he asked me one behavior question about my resume, just so I can talk a little bit more about it. And like they gave me one very simple question, he just wanted me to see if in my perspective, if I can code in a good solution,
right?
Because I kind of gave him not the optimal solution for the question, and he said, "Okay, yeah, I think that's great. That's great." And when I heard that, that's it. And he said, "Oh yeah, I just want to see if you can code like and you can explain your thoughts, very clear." That was it. He said it literally this: explain your code while you're doing the good code, And but I eventually did the optimal solution for him. I did not finish because of the time, but that was it. And yeah, like I think a week later or 2 weeks, I guess, I received the invite for the final rounds, And for the final rounds was more like it was 3 interviews, in which those of those 3 interviews were like coding interviews, just like normal coding interviews. But one of them was kind of different from what we practiced. It was kind of open-ended question, Basically, he gave me a problem. So, but like the things we've been training during the coaching sessions and like the mock interviews I did, like was to scope the problem, So to understand all the angles and cover my ass literally, which helped a lot, And Yeah, but in the end, I solved the question. I was not sure about this question, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first one, like, was a tree question.
Mm-hmm.
For the last one, was a array question.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple.
Yeah.
This middle question was kind of tricky, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing that train can helps.
Yeah, I want to jump in
yeah,
a
I
little
think
bit.
that was the overall process. And for all the interviews, that was like a behavioral question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a specific behavioral question. For
Mhm.
each one of the three questions was testing some point. You know,
Mhm.
how to deal with conflict. Tell me about some experience. You know,
Mhm.
anyways, something like this. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I wanted to actually bring up that one point about communicating with the interviewer about the code, right? I remember you
Mhm.
had a lot of problems with over rambling, and I think this is a pretty common problem that I'm seeing even with Jay right now. And
Yeah.
so I guess with people who have similar problems, what do you want to say? How would you describe how to fix that problem?
Okay. Yeah. For me specifically, I have this language barrier kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and sometimes I try to over explain to get a point in that native people can speak very fast.
Mm-hmm.
But like what helped me was to kind of, I'm not saying to do anything, all the things on your head, but try to think before talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like just have a rough idea of what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not just rambling like random stuff. You know, just to fill up the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I'll give you a practical example. If you look at a question, yeah, just try to make marks. Okay, I should talk about this because it's not so clear to me, and this and that, you know. And then when you ask the questions, really ask what you don't understand pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
not just trying to like fill up the time. Yeah, I think be mindful about what you're gonna talk, not just talk anything. I
Mm-hmm.
think that really helped me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and be much more succinct with the words. I think one of the tips you gave me is
Mm-hmm.
like uh, try to speak small sentences,
Mm-hmm.
so the persons can understand what you're trying to say.
Right.
And yeah, I think that really helped me.
Mm.
That's what I have to say about communication. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've given you a few tips. Like one of them is the speak in clauses, not run on sentences. The second one is like try to say everything in 5 seconds, like say the main idea in 5 seconds or less. And then another one
Uh,
was also to make sure that you tie. And this was especially helpful, I think, for your behavioral interview. Make sure you tie back the moral. Make sure you like, if in case you're like talking too much, to always say why.
Mhm.
Get back to the point. Why did you say all this?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then also like for the Microsoft interview, it sounds like even though you didn't get like quote unquote the optimal answer, the fact that your explanation, guidance, and your logic was so clean, they just straight up overlooked that.
Yeah, yeah. I was kind of like very mindful about every decision, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to see the pros and cons, you know, about everything because it was not that clear to me. The question it was very open ended, you know. But in the end, I delivered the code and yeah, I solved the question. I'd say that was not optimal, you know, but like was at least a solution. Yeah. And I was able to communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Because it's like you might not even get the right answer, but the logic that you took made absolute sense. So I think they counted that a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, oh, and one comment here. Like I've been working my actual job, you know. Like one of the guys, he just moved to another job, and he said to me, he gave me like a feedback, very personal. He said, "And I really like the way you think through the problems. You know, you really think about every branch that your code can go." And man, this I bring from the sessions, you know. It really helped me a lot. Yeah, during the workday as well. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I'll take that too, because the whole everything we do here is meant to be like, hey, this also applies to engineering, and turns out it immediately applied to your work. I made that a habit.
For sure.
And you know now, it's like,
he said it's very hard to see people that over like analyze all the different aspects of the code. You know what can go wrong or not. You know, and you did this pretty well. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're a good engineer, you're gonna do well at the coding interviews. Who knew?
Sounds like a correlation, right?
Yeah, funny how that works. I wonder what that says about people complaining about how interviews don't work. So I'm just saying out there, guys. If there's anyone lurking in the chat who says coding interviews are broken, I think you should question your skill as an engineer first. Okay, enough of me flaming. Let's talk a little bit about like the Microsoft, the Amazon one. Mr. Mystics actually asks, well, first let's talk about like what the difference was between Amazon and Microsoft for at least for the interview.
Okay, I'd say that the behavior portion is totally different. You know, like I think at Microsoft, if you know like your resume pretty well, you know, and you have like how to say, what is it called in English? You appear to be a good colleague to work, you know, like a good person to work with. It's okay. You can pass through the behavior portion, you know, and you have your stories pretty clear and compelling in the engineering aspect. But for Amazon, I think it's much more complicated because, like, your answers must be very tied with the leadership principles, you know, in my opinion. And if you kind of don't follow exactly the STAR method, you know, I don't know. In my mind, it just goes. It's not so good. And for example, at Microsoft, they have only one behavioral question per interview. In Amazon, they have 3 at least. You know, so that's a big difference. Yeah, and in terms of time, for example, Microsoft spends like 15 to 20 minutes discussing behavioral portion. While Amazon is like more, it's like almost the 30-minute mark, you know, so it's much more. 10 minutes of talking is much more. And about the coding portion, I think they are equally in terms of coding because the nature of the questions is basically the same. Yeah. You can get harder questions, you know, at both, and like medium questions at both, and change a lot. Yeah, but I think the biggest difference is like the behavior portion, in my opinion.
That kind of makes sense. So I guess based on that data point, I guess we didn't do too well on the behavioral because if you aced the Microsoft interview, right? And so if the only difference is the behavioral stuff, then maybe I should have spent a little bit more time on the behavioral, at least for Amazon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man, Amazon, yeah, they really take this serious.
Yeah, I guess so. But overall, I still think the method works. For at least when breaking down the stories and stuff. What do you think?
I think that really helps. But for example, in my mind, the like interviews from Amazon, they have like a checklist. You know, you have to meet this criteria in this interview because I'm gonna test you in those 3 points. You know, from what I heard, they have kind of this checklist, and you know. And okay, I want to see if this guy's gonna be good in those 3 check marks, you know. I think it really have to have a special care when it deals with Amazon behavioral interviews. But the stories, you know, you suggest for me to do really was an initial point.
Yeah.
Like all of the interviews, but
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, if nothing else, it at least helps you organize your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a starting point. Yeah, and like the whole behavioral portion for most of the companies. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess let's go to the juicy part. I guess some people are asking about what the breakdown of the Microsoft offer is and like kind of some things people should know about. I think for you, one of them was like contingent on graduating and getting a visa and stuff. Yeah, if you don't mind sharing the details, that is.
Like I need to graduate first, and the visa. It's kind of like a big process. I expect to graduate this end of the year, September. You know, let's see what happens. In January, they're gonna apply for the H-1B. Let's see.
Yeah.
And and about the offer, okay, 112 base salary, right, and 20 for the signing on bonus. Okay, let me open here the offer.
Yeah. Yeah, rest it up.
And I guess 120 for stocks. Yeah.
So
And, yeah.
okay, so 112 base, 120 sign-on bonus, and 120 RSUs over 4 years.
Hold up. Just a minute. Yeah, 20,000 for signing on. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a minute. I'm gonna open here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 112 base salary. Oh, yes, 25 signing on. It's not 20.
Okay, 25 sign.
Yes.
And then
120 of stocks divided in 3.5 years.
okay, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna plug this into Okay, so 120 divided over 4 years or 3 years.
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I asked how I'm gonna be compensated about this, and they really sent me an email.
Okay. Yeah. Let's actually see what the band is. So based on that, quick math here: 112 plus 25 is 137. I'll just do an estimation of 30. So that's 167 total compensation, which puts you actually at the according to levels.fyi, it actually puts you above the median, and then more if you want to actually count at 3.5. So yeah, so as a new grad, you're actually hitting the almost the 60th percentile, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So above average for a new when you consider that L3 band is everyone.
Yeah.
So that's definitely hitting above the mark.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I heard cases of people getting less than 120 for stock compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another friend of mine got, I guess, 70, and the other got 80 for stocks. Yeah.
Jesus, then you the stocks wise, you must have done very fucking well then. So let's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the base salary is based on your location, because another friend of mine got a Atlanta position, and the base salary is much lower, around the 100K. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I'm looking at levels.fyi. If I look at all the new grad, there's 55 pages. You're on page you'd be on page 13.
Mm-hmm.
So which means that that's about right. 60th percentile. That's wait, what's 13 divided by 55? Oh shit. If we're on page 13, that's 25th. Yeah, so the 75th percentile actually. Shit.
Okay.
Yeah. 75th to 77th. I'm literally 13 divided by 55 puts you at 0.23. So 1 minus 0.23 equals 77th percentile as a new grad against everyone else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, and if you're counting based on the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm.
If we count based on my country, it's man, if I got this Amazon offer, it's 30K as a base salary, converting the real to a dollar. So that's a huge difference. There's the cost of living is higher in the U.S. If you put in the what you can get with this salary in the U.S. in Brazil is much more. So there's no comparison.
I mean, I'll tell you straight up, your offer is higher than what I had at Apple.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I look, my comp at Apple was I think 118, 100 RSU, and 10K signing.
Okay, and to work in where?
2016
Bay Area.
Bay Area, yeah.
No, but in Bay Area, which is more expensive place than Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm very happy for you, dude. I don't know what people are complaining about salary and shit. I'm just I worked for fucking pennies compared to you guys, and I'm okay with that. If I can handle that in the fucking Bay Area, you guys can handle 1.5 times my salary.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So, okay, let's see. Out of curiosity, did you consider telling M how to negotiate? I actually didn't tell him to negotiate. This was literally the first offer that he got, right? Because we didn't actually have any other offer to counteroffer with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're in that position, it's kind of hard, right? It's what if they say no? I mean, then you say, okay. But I'd rather be honest during negotiations. And again, that's why I suck at negotiations. I'll be the first one to say, if you're looking for negotiation advice, ask someone else. I am very terrible at it. So
Yeah, that's
anyway, so
honesty, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I personally
Uh,
think that's the best way to do business. But yeah, like,
and like another thing about Mystic's question, like the other offer, like which I didn't get, was Amazon. But like from my friends' experience, they don't negotiate from different countries, you know, because the offer was based in Brazil, and if you want to try to negotiate on a U.S. based offer, they don't negotiate basically.
mhm.
Yeah, there's this point as well because I got there's only one U.S. based offer, and yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. And honestly, I would have liked to have Amazon just, if nothing else, as a badge. But I'm like, fuck, we didn't get it. So I'm like I'm kind of bitter about that a little bit. So.
I felt the same. Oh, this girl rejected me. I don't like it. You know, I felt the same.
Yeah, fuck Amazon anyway. Screw it. It's like, please don't quote me on that. It's all in good fun, right? We got what we want.
Yeah.
We got like the one shot we wanted. We hit. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, like there's the green card portion. You know, at Microsoft they said that they're going to sponsor this, and for me, that is not American citizen. That means a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they really want you. They're like, and plus, like if you look at the offer, what they said, and how you performed, I think it's very clear.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I guess now having take all that experience in context, knowing what the results you got, the whole process you went through, and kind of like I guess the everything you learned before you met me. I guess what's your take on like the mood or the culture around like coding interviews? Like when you see people like kind of complain, or do you think there's like some valid do you think there's like valid reasons for them to complain, or like what's your thought around like what other people think about coding interviews?
Okay, yeah, that's a very delicate topic.
I mean, it's up to you, man. You can feel free to refuse the question.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in my point of view, right? If you want this, you know, so bad, you need to adapt to the system, you know. So even though you think it's fair or not, you know, so if you want the offer from a big tech company, you must go to the process, you know. Or start a revolution, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like for me there was not other option to go to the US. Like it was not for a big tech company, you know, because they're the more that sponsor Fahrenheit. And that was my only choice basically. But yeah, if you're happy and work in other companies, there's like a lot of great companies as well that not big tech companies and doesn't ask those coding interviews questions, you know. For free, yeah, it's up to you. Like it's up to the person who wants to be in the process, you know. And but in my opinion, I think that helped me, during my like actual job, like to analyze things, you know, and like and not go just straight to the code and try to create a solution out of the blue, you know, and really be mindful about every decision. This aspect really helped me during the preparation. Even though I don't reverse link list all day, you know, and all these things, but like the mentality really helped how to tackle the problems. I think that's it. What I have to say. And sometimes when people complain about coding interviews, in my opinion, right, from what I see, like these YouTubers. They didn't get like or offers about like the biggest companies, you know, so they can complain. Even though I think it's not fair, you know. Get it first before you complain. I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
That's my opinion. You know.
You think it's like sour grapes? They're like, oh, I didn't get it, therefore I don't want it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But if Google offer me a position, I'll accept. Yeah, that's true. Hypocrisy, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and now now that you've gotten the offer, now you pretty much have a lot of doors open to you. So now, in theory, you could go and apply for Google in like 4 years if you wanted.
Yeah, because I know the way, the path.
Yeah, and since like we've gone through all this, and you really need to go and get the you really need to practice again. You already know all the tricks. You already know exactly what to do, and in theory, you shouldn't need to practice that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I
I know
guess
the path.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know the path. I know the plan. I know what should I look for. While you're practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just let me remind those topics and yeah, put it to work.
Mm-hmm. And you.
Basically,
Yeah, you have the stream here to remind you too, in case like, hey, I think I want to rewatch this just so I can remember all what my past mistakes are and all that stuff. But
oh yeah, it's gonna be recorded. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. So but I
But
kind of want to like talk. Let's spend the last 10 minutes kind of talk about like your future plans as well. I know you said like visa, study, get out there. What like where do you want to go with your career? Let's put it that way. Because some people are just like, oh yeah, I just want to get into tech, do Google for like 3 years, and then move on. But then I'm curious, like, what are yours? I don't think we've ever had that conversation.
no, it didn't. Yeah, I think like the main priority now is graduate,
Mm-hmm.
and then go to this visa process.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, right, I
Mm-hmm.
think there's a lot of room, a lot of things to learn in Microsoft.
Yep.
Because the company I work is very small. It's like
Mm-hmm.
100 persons,
Mm-hmm.
people. And I really want to learn the most during my time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't think about change companies,
Mm-hmm.
in the first, like, let's say 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I have in mind, definitely, if I start to get stuck, in terms of like, I'm not how to say, I'm not growing in my career,
Mm-hmm.
or like I shift teams and I don't see the fulfillment. I don't see like, it's not exciting to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I have got the possibility to change to other company, I would do it,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't discard this possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, like, in the first years, I really want to get this visa process done, because once I arrive in the US, they're gonna start the green card process.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes like, I guess, 1 year or 2 years maybe,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the nationality.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I want to get this clear so I can have this mobility to change companies,
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what I was thinking. And another thing, like, I think you mentioned on your coaching sessions,
Mm-hmm.
like with other guys,
Mm-hmm.
like people asking you, and I heard from from one podcast that I listened,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about masters,
Mm-hmm.
like one time you said that if somebody has a master,
Mm-hmm.
have a master, like, it can move quite fast, but
Like a master degree or
yeah, a master degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't see any plans to do a master degree at all. Yeah.
You don't
See
need a
how that
master's
goes.
degree. Unless
I
you're doing
don't
AI,
see-
you don't
I
need
don't-
masters. So
Yeah, I don't see this as a possibility
Mhm.
in the future,
Mm.
So I think that's what I want to about my career.
Mm-hmm. So you want to learn as much as you can at Microsoft, and then I guess ultimately kind of stay in engineering. I think that's kind of like what you're aiming for.
Yeah. It was like to learn as most as I can,
Mhm.
So
No, I think you're good.
really, like, so I can navigate into other companies without a problem,
Right, to keep your options open-ended, and to keep being a competent engineer, and so you can stay in the States. I think that's probably your medium-term goal, yeah. And I guess that
Yeah.
would make sense, since there's probably a lot more opportunities here, especially for engineering, than like say Brazil.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, for sure. Like, here, like, the main scene is, like, for example, just to give you a context,
Mhm.
we basically have here the big tech companies, but we just consume all of the things that are produced in the US,
Mm.
So it's basically adapting for the Brazil bureaucracy, basically, And there's small startups here, but it's not that exciting to me to work in that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, one personal fact here, just to share.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the US like two years ago, 1.5, and I get very enthusiastic with the country, and I said, man, I need to go back here, be a software engineer. So I said, this is a goal. It's a personal goal. So goal reached. Let's go there again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Really. Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's life-changing, right? You just have one shot at a dream, and we made it happen.
Yeah.
So that's good.
You and my friend, I'll pay his next, right?
Dude, yeah, no, it's like you're like if I go to Seattle in like the next 2 years, I'll hit you up. Stay in touch, man.
For sure, definitely. We're gonna hang out. I'm gonna call this friend. That's it, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Like what's it called? Everyone who I have worked with, I try to make a like get to know them outside of all this. Like what's it? I think a few weeks ago, me, Valid, and then a few other people as well. Tried to just went out for like drinks and bowling, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Social.
Yeah, exactly. Because I like personally now that you like know the mindset, you know what's up, and you have the right motivations. It's going to be very easy to meet a lot of high performing people as well. Like,
For sure, for
and
sure.
if nothing else, like the fact that you've passed and you believe in this stuff and you see it work, I can always invite you to
Mhm.
other stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like the book Relentless, if I was you, I put this as a prerequisite for all your candidates,
That's
to
true.
work with you. Okay, read this book first, you must have this mentality,
Mhm.
at least 80%. So we can talk in the same
Yeah, so we
idiom,
speak the same language, so that way we're not like I'm not spending 2 months telling you, hey, you need to be more detailed, you need to be super super focused and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And look at what Michael Jordan did, you must be that level up.
Yeah, super fucking
Yeah.
crazy. Literally spending 12 to 15 hours in the gym every single day just practicing a shot. So
Obsessive,
Yeah.
about the results. Yeah.
exactly. So with the last 7 minutes, I kind of want to give this open floor to you. Whatever you think you want to say that hasn't been said. If you want to take questions from the crowd or whatnot.
Okay, yeah. I think like just I'm very grateful about your help and my
Mhm.
friend's help. He
Mhm.
really helped me a lot
Mhm.
about this mock interview person because he have a lot of quality as well.
Mhm.
But like this instruction, I think I get a lot of from you,
Mhm.
and yeah, you both like play a big role.
Mhm.
Uh, and like this, like this active feedback.
Mhm.
You need to go this direction. Sometimes he just pointed out
Mhm.
uh, and was not too clear. I
Mhm.
tried to implement, but you was, man, remember the last time I did this, you didn't implement. You're very insensitive.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, he helped me a lot as well.
That's good.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
Obrigado in Portuguese, right?
Yeah. I'll speak Portuguese, but and then like any feedback you have for me, like anything that you felt worked that really well versus things that you felt could be improved.
Okay, so I think if you were more like soft,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't get that level of seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're in the point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because like at some point, it doesn't matter if you be more like more harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the people don't want, you're not gonna change their mind. You must be very honest. Do you really want this?
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you. I think that really plays a big role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just on the point. I don't have nothing to say about this. But one thing I'll definitely it really help if I get it before is like the direction.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be that level of detail, detail oriented. So basically, if I had this mindset in the beginning, would maybe be faster the process. I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take that into account. Russell told me to be a little bit more clear with like a lot of my planning and a little bit more of what's it called to be more concise and I guess how to describe it, a little bit more organized with it. And then you're saying here to be a little bit to have that mentality to begin with. I think I have a good idea of what I want to do for my future clients because I'm always looking to improve this process, right? So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and one extra thing here about the behavioral portion. Like if your clients are gonna have like Amazon interviews, take a special care about this. As Amazon plays a big role in behavioral. Yeah.
Okay. So more care with the behavioral interview from Amazon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that one in mind.
Specifically, yeah.
All right. Cool.
I think that's it, man. If anybody have some other question, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm this since 4 minutes left. I'm gonna let you go. But if anyone wants to chat with you in the Discord, is it okay? I'll tag you. But in case people want to ask future questions in Discord, I'll have them linked in there. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Then yeah, congratulations again on the Microsoft interview, and we'll chat later.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
That's it, man.
All right, take care. So if people want to ask about Ask M or
about his experience or any other follow-up questions, feel free to go to the Discord in the description down below. I'll tag him in the Discord main. And so you can directly message him. You can ask him in the channel about any questions, tips, tricks, or anything you might have on your mind. So with that, we got 3 minutes left. Anyone have any follow-up questions that they want to ask me before I bring on Jay? All right. Mr. Mystic said, Pairwatch says, should always try negotiating. They can always say no. Yeah, that's my problem, though. I'm just way too honest. You're right. Yeah, the thing is that logically, you're right? But the problem is that I try negotiating honestly. Is like I try negotiating with what I think is fair and whether or not I have leverage in the situation. That's really it. And to me, like, I'll say this. Like, even when I was at Apple, when they first gave me that offer, I tried saying, hey, would you be willing to go higher to like blah blah blah. They said, nah, we think this is fair based on what we think we're getting out of you. It's like, okay, fine, fair, whatever. I don't have that exposure, because all I have are market comparables. But I don't, at the time, it's like a little bit of a Dunning-Kruger effect. You don't know how good you are really compared to everyone else who applied. And so I took what I could get, right? That was my only offer. And so I understand the sentiment of, oh yeah, you should always try negotiating. The problem is that it's a human tendency to just be a little bit more honest. And I try not to fight that tendency. Even if it means being underpaid, I'd rather sleep with a clear mind than to be overpaid and underdeliver. That's my take on it. Maybe that's me just coping with the fact that I'm not very good at negotiating. And I'm always free to admit that, but it's just the way I do things. Everyone else might have a different way of doing it. Mr. Mystic says, the complaints I see for interviews come from people not getting offers to begin with. It's not the person getting multiple offers and posting about it on Blind. Yeah, funny how that works. It's almost like people who suck at coding interviews complain that they don't work. And the people who know how coding interviews work and know how to get offers don't complain about it. Huh. You never see someone who gets offers, a lot of offers, complain about the coding interview. And you never see someone who doesn't get offers say that they work. Funny how that works, right? So it's a very much an incentive cause bias right there. And it's like you have levels of human consistency in there and whatnot. So in any case, let's actually bring on my next client. So hopefully he stayed in the chat and learned a thing or two, at least from the previous chat. So. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Yeah, you were a little quiet earlier.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Let me bring the mic a little closer.
Cool beans.
Actually, yeah, okay. How's this?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So how did you you were in the chat and I guess you listened to that. My chat with them.
Yeah, I did.
How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what he says.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel inspired to make that one last push for this week?
Yeah, definitely. I am nervous, but taking M's words to heart, sort of thing. Trying harder. Re-inspired to put in more effort and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's speak of that. Let's look at your homework. Okay, well, how things have been in the past week. I know I had you start on the honors class, and I think on Sunday you mentioned that you had a few issues with what's it called trying to parse down the problem, and have it and use the tools. How has anything changed since then?
So, I have a better understanding of. I'm still having a little bit of trouble using some built-in functions, but I can implement it myself.
Okay.
That wastes a bit of time, because when I think a function is supposed to return something, it does it, and then I'm wondering, okay, let me try implementing it myself, and then just wasted a bit of time because I had a previous assumption, and then it didn't work out too well.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar to that, An example of that was with binary search on one row 185. My practice diary, basically, like, I thought binary search. I was trying to binary search for something using the library built-in function, but didn't do exactly what I wanted, so that wasted a bit of time. Other than that, I am still struggling with trying to optimize a solution. Like some of the questions, like I can do the brute force, I can optimize it a little bit, but I can't get to the same level of optimization the book does. So that's kind of a problem there. And some of it is just like I just don't know how to do it sometimes, or I struggle a lot, and then I have to go look like during the solution. If I really struggle, then maybe I try and find an idea like online on how to do it. But that was like only for like one question so far.
Okay.
But yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, I understand what's going on. A lot of the stuff gets a lot trickier. Especially if you haven't caught up to what the book does. So let's look at your practice diary and let's see what's up. And keep in mind.
Also,
I was gonna say, keep in mind, don't feel too discouraged about him. I mean, I literally spent like 3 months with him. I'm trying to do that with you in about half the time.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, you're saying something, right?
Oh yeah. I have learned how to do exception stuff. I never used exceptions, like caught exceptions before in code, but 185, like, the solution made me like think, oh, I can use this type of, I never used this type of code before in problems before, so that like just that's a new way to solve problems. Sort of thing.
Okay, so you actually what's it called you actually didn't know how to throw an exception in Python?
Well, I knew how to throw exceptions, but I never thought of using them before in code, because usually, the constraints are more or less set. I didn't have to run into any index errors when going to it, because if usually they give it to me in an array or a stream, like an iterator sort of. So I can just either iterate through the entire thing, doing whatever I want with it. I don't have to specifically get the length of anything. But this question made me struggle a little bit with that.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, search a sorted array of unknown length. Binary search is usually applied as an array of unknown length, of known length, because the array is virtual. Sometimes the array is virtual as an abstraction of data that's spread across multiple machines. In this case, the length is not known in advance. Accessing elements. Design an algorithm that takes a sorted array whose length is not known, a key, and returns an index of an array element which is equal to key. Assume that out of bound exceptions throws an exception. Okay, sounds good. And the key thing I would say here is look the fact that it's spread across multiple machines. That's probably the one thing that stuck out to me. But that could also be as an example. So let's see how you did this. First level idea, you high efficiency, pseudocode, code, finish the code but add bugs, implement a custom binary search, had difficult time treating out of bounds as index as infinity, rest of the time debugging until looked at the book, how the book did it. Now question, did you actually get to the book solution on this one or not?
I got essentially to the book solution, but my own version of it.
Okay.
Same idea, but different code.
That's fine. That's completely okay. The question now becomes the delta, right? So let's look at the first one. So your brute force solutions for every number in the list. If the number is equal to k, yeah, sure, okay.
K is the number they gave us.
That's fine. But that's not really binary search, whatever.
Yeah, it's not binary search. That's like the brute force sort of thing, like my initial idea.
Okay, that's fine. I would say that it's a point like that because it's very obvious and duh. Might not necessarily need to be talked about, but it's not the biggest thing, So then expand search space by doubling our search space until search space exceeds k. Okay, so this is like your inefficient solution.
Yeah, this was like my final solution, but improving upon the brute force sort of thing. Because now, utilize the sorted property of list. Generally, if we're searching for an item in the list, you can use binary search. So now let's just improve binary search.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And I understand, like, this technically, like, expand your search by being a little bit greedy, which is fine. I probably would have started from, this is actually fair. This is fair. I probably would have started by chopping it and doing, like, No. That's right. This is basically the inverse, which is fine. Okay, so you did that. I'm perfectly okay with that. So k equals 50. Search space 1 times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, so yeah. So you look at index 2. 1, 2, 4.
Yeah, because I just double it.
0, 1, 2, 4.
Index 1, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. 0, 1, 2, 4. It's not really binary search. It's like expanding search, but it works.
No, like we expand the search space
Mhm.
until it includes k, and then we binary search over like our search space. Like we're just expanding our search space until it includes k, like 50.
Mhm.
And then we just binary search over the array that ends at
Okay.
the index, the search space.
Hey, that's fine. Yeah. Another way to think about it is like, okay, how can I transform a array of unknown length to an array of known length?
Yeah.
And then do the binary search on top of it. So that's perfectly logical as well. And so the fact that you did it pretty fast, I admit that this is a problem that was not immediately obvious to me. So yeah, the fact that you did it pretty fast is actually pretty good. The question now is like, how much time did you actually spend debugging?
A lot of the time.
Fuck.
I didn't really because I was having trouble coming up with, okay, how can I treat an out of bounds error as infinity, and then I'm basically trying things like, okay, at first, what happens if I get an index out of bounds error? Should I, after a certain point of time, just start incrementing by 1, or when I catch an index out of bounds error, should I divide the end index by 2, like divide my search space by 2, sort of thing. Like I'm just trying to capture the value where the previous value where I caught my index out of bounds error.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was struggling with, okay, how do I handle exceptions in this code, sort of thing.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
Let's break down that part. Let's go back into the problem, right? Let's say I'm at that point, like, oh yeah, what happens if I expand my array, and then I end up out of bounds, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that I still need is that I may have overshot, and so so now I just need to go back to the array, right? Since it's an unknown length, right? So what I can do is just do a binary search at that, because I know it may or may not be within that length. So what I can do is binary search within that from 0, like you said, 0 to the index I know that's throwing me out of bounds. And if I still get out of bounds, then, just treat that as if it's greater than. I think that's pretty much what you did, right?
Yeah. I tried treating like an out of bounds error as infinity, so...
Oh, not even infinity. Out of bounds should be treated as like a limit, and then it says, oh, it's just greater than my target.
Limit, essentially limit. I just treated infinity as a limit, but yeah.
Yeah. Either way, if you did that and you did that along those lines, that's fine. So let's look at your delta. Dealing with exceptions, learn how to utilize exceptions, want to treat the index error as infinity was hard to do. Yeah, no, you don't have to treat it as infinity. You just have to treat it as, oh yeah, this is like when I hit that, the index that I'm looking at is out of bounds. It's already greater than my target. If you just treat it that way, I think it would have been fine. Save time to research how to use built-in binary search better. I don't think so. Bisect left, right for the...
Yeah.
Okay, the bisect left, I'm going to say that method would have like completely missed me.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a built-in. At the beginning of EPI, they gave me these like 2 methods to built-in methods for binary search. So I was like, my first thought is always, okay, can we use these built-in methods to make the work a little bit easier? I thought it did, but it really didn't.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up implementing myself because, like, you know what, whatever. I don't want to waste time during the question sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. Either way, I'm okay with what you did here because like the key to this one was the except index n equals mid minus 1. So you did that one correctly. That's perfectly fine. And then after this, I don't know what the crap this is. I think this is just you trying to do a binary search. What the wild true try?
No, this was the binary search was so this was the book code thing.
Oh.
So yeah, this because in the end, like basically I learned how to like these errors things. This is basically like essentially we're out of bounds. Let's go back to the middle index.
Yeah. I see what they're doing. This is like so esoteric with the bit shift. I'm gonna tell you, you did it the right way. The book's doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
The key
the bit shifting flew over my head. Like I just double it instead of doing all this bit shifting thing. But the index error made me rethink my approach to it.
Yeah. So the thing is that you should have thought of the key to this problem is to think about the index error before it comes up. Did you think about it before it comes up or not?
Yeah, I came
Good.
up with it, but it's just like I didn't know how to deal with it, sort of thing.
Okay.
Because index out of bounds. It's my first time encountering like exceptions in code, sort of thing.
So the thing is, you struggled with it, but you still came up with a solution on your own, right? Without having to.
Yeah,
break
I
it
did
down.
come up with it, but it was like, yeah, I did come up with a solution on that.
Okay, the thing is that you should have been able to come up with a solution for that, for the index error. It's like, oh yeah, how should I treat this? What does it mean to be indexed out of bounds, right? And if you just follow that logic and I think calm down a little bit, and said, oh yeah, if I have an index out of bounds where I try to get this means that I am outside of the array bounds on the greater side, right? Which means that I've overshot, which means I can treat this as if, hey, this is a bounds that I should completely exclude. You see where that logic flows, right?
Yeah, I think my problem was trying to find that specific index that we should end on, sort of thing. Like, oh, we should not include this index, but the next doubling we should not include that, sort of thing.
I would say you overcomplicated it, and I would have just so it's all about taking the core idea, which is like grow until we have captured an array of size that captures the element we're looking at. That's the main idea, right? And then the binary search on that until we found the element. And so if we just think about it from that angle, and we say what happens to index out of bounds, index out of bounds just means that, okay, we've requested for an array size that's bigger than the actual array size, but that doesn't fundamentally change what we want to do. So what we can do is transform that situation into the end equals mid minus 1 situation. You see how we just go back to the core idea, the underlying idea of it, and just say, hey, nothing really changes here?
Yeah. Yeah, we just like include an extra case inside the binary search thing. Yeah.
This is why it's really important to get the idea down and always refer to the idea. Once you do that, you can transform the code to whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Yeah.
So,
like I had a different way of addressing this problem in my Delta.
Okay.
My way was essentially, okay, let's just make a class, like a separate class, and that reads our array thing, and then whenever we run into an index out of bounds error, we would just return like infinity previously. So that would, because no element they're gonna give us is, less is equal to infinity. If they do, then we can just return infinity anyways. But yeah, if just treat out of bounds errors as infinity, so we can stop our index, like doubling our search space.
Here is the problem. The thing is that you shouldn't treat class as this is a new way of doing things. You should treat class as an organizational tool. That's the problem. That's the difference. And I think that's a problem that you think of it like that. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people think of it like that. It's like, oh, if I just abstract things into a factor-factor pattern or throw it into a static class, then all my problems go away. No, classes are just a way to organize code. So you really shouldn't think of it like that. But I understand the point with infinity. I still think it's a wrong way of doing it, because if you think about the way the book's doing it and how I just explained it, I think what the answer I just gave was a little bit more correct. But I understand how you could have gotten there. It's just an example of learning the wrong lesson, but at least you did it, so I can't fault you too much. It's like, like when you learn, it's like when you see something, it's like you learned the wrong lesson from it. It's just one of those examples, but it's not, otherwise, your approach was still pretty solid.
Okay, that's good, yeah.
Okay. Alright, next one. What is there another one that you want me to look at?
Specifically, I think, so I still struggle with bit solutions, like solutions that utilize bits.
Okay, I'm going to say skip bits, because I don't think really too many people ask bits.
Okay.
How good your by the way, how did you... Go ahead.
No, because the solution I came up with to this bit solution was, okay, let's just use a counter for the occurrences, like just a hash table, but they utilize bits, and I was just like, how would I be coming up with this solution regarding the bits, for me at least?
Is this row 186?
188.
186. All right.
186. I do have another problem with that too. That was another binary search problem I struggled with, and 187 was optimization problem that I couldn't decipher too well.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's just go through all of them then.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Merge two sorted arrays into one sorted array. Return number at index k. Okay, let's let me open up the book.
Yeah.
Cool. Suppose you are given two sorted array of integers. If one array has enough empty, this one. I feel like we did this one, didn't we?
No, this was a different one. I think the linked list. No, wait, no. This is not this question. It's search in two sorted arrays. So it's in the operator class one. Merge two sorted arrays was the one we already did before.
Okay. I'm looking at the wrong row. Wait, no. This is in row 186. Search and I'm looking at the look at the delta here. Look in the J186.
J186. Yeah.
Okay.
That was my solution to it.
Okay, but I see merge
but
two sorted arrays into one sorted array.
Yeah, that was my solution to the problem in searching in two sorted arrays. The problem was search in two sorted arrays.
But then why does it say merge two sorted arrays? Oh, okay. Oh, that's your solution. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So I got confused because this is actually a book. That's actually the title of a book problem.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. That's where I got the idea from, sort of thing.
Okay.
Well, I got the idea from the merge pattern, the merge routine, and merge sort, but
Okay.
generally.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are given two sorted arrays and positive integer k. Design an algorithm for computing the kth smallest element in an array consisting of the elements of the initial two arrays arranged in sorting order. Array elements may be duplicated within and across input arrays. Okay. Got it. So let's see how you did this. A high-level idea, improve efficiencies, example by others, blah, 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 brainstorm ideas for inefficiency. And you said that you couldn't quite get it, right?
Yeah, I couldn't quite get the binary search solution
Okay.
that they proposed.
Okay. So, in other words, so you got to n plus n by taking two sorted arrays and put in one sorted and index k, right? And so now, okay, so the question now becomes, okay, what questions do we have to ask ourselves in order to get to the answer? So, in other words, what's our inefficiency here, right? Only need the first k elements of the array. Correct. So then now, you only need a to k, b to k, and then sorted array, while I, j, well, a is less than b. Okay, but that's still only, you still have to walk through k elements.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I knew there's an idea for binary search, but I couldn't exactly get binary search would be a good application to this problem because we already have sorted arrays for searching for an element, but I didn't exactly how I could define my bounds for this. And after even reading the solution, I'm still a little bit confused on how they define the bounds and did the binary search over these two sorted arrays.
Okay. Yeah, let me actually give you how I would approach it. So basically, once I figured that out, and then let's compare it to the book. So based on the top of my head, I would say, all right, let's look at the entire array. Fine. Now I'm going to do a probably a sort, but by the index, because so what I mean by that is that let's say I have the two sorted lists, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I'd probably do a binary search where I know that the fuck, actually, does that even work? Fuck, that doesn't actually, yeah. I just realized, no, my solution actually doesn't work. Fuck, I was going to try saying, do a binary search across two sorted arrays, actually. But that's tautological. I think that's literally what they're asking for. So that's tautological. Okay, next thing would be to, so how do I do the log n without, is there some pre-processing I need to do? Well, I need to pre-process because I need to be able to get the order in which I look at one array or the other. So there must be some heuristic that allows me to choose one or the other. So what I could do is start off in the middle of both. I think the next, there's no pre-processing because that would be order n. So I have to jump straight to the binary search attempt. So what I would do probably is to start off at the middle of each of the arrays and then do the binary search in it. So, wait, I need k, right? Shit. Holy fuck, no. Yeah, because even if I start in the middle, there's no guarantee. Okay, I can't figure this one out right at the top of my head. Let's see what the book says. Fuck. I was gonna say just start off with do a binary search, but start off at the middle of the arrays, and then probably do something along those lines and move the indices based on what is greater and less than that. Wait. Let me double check, make sure I understand this situation. So two sorted arrays. Okay. First k elements and first k elements. Yeah, I don't know actually this one. Holy shit! What the fuck? All right. Find kth element in two sorted arrays. Upper and lower bounds. All right, fine. 0k minus b size a. Oh, is this saying that in A that all the elements in A is less than all the elements in B?
I don't think so for the question. They never really defined it, so I don't know.
All right, lower bounds of elements we will choose in A. Upper bounds of elements we will choose in A. Honestly, when they start doing like some crazy fucking math like this, I'm gonna say screw it.
They kind of like caught me brain. They made my brain go poof when I was reading the solution.
They merge arrays on the first K. Yeah, so you order K operations. So you got the little faster one. What we really need is some form of binary search that takes advantage of the sortedness of A and B. Yes. Intuitively focus on the instances in A and B that correspond to first K elements. We stand a good chance of using binary search. Yes, correct. Suppose the first K elements is union A and B. Let's turn X iteration contains as long as B less than T. By this contract, we have half interval iteration, and each iteration considers a midpoint. Yes. If A is less than B, K, X minus 1, then A, X must be in the first K element. We update B and continue. My brain hurts. I don't fucking understand this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say I'm sorry you wasted your time on this, but at least you tried.
Yeah, it was like, you know what? I don't know that. I think I'll be like, when I read the solution, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd come up with it. The best I would come up with is like the O of K solution.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even for me, like when I read this shit, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm looking at it. I'm trying. I'm really trying to read this. I fucking can't do it. I mean, maybe I had like patience. Like if I had like spent 10 minutes on it and I'm trying to understand all the math, but honestly, I'm kind of I'm more obliged to say, you know what, screw this, move to the next one.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like, the balance was a bit difficult to come up with, but other than that, like, yeah.
All right. Row 187, right?
Yeah, you were on 87. So
Which
this one,
Mhm.
it was more of an optimization thing.
Okay.
But yeah. So this is find the kth largest element, large N, small k.
So, okay, present computing the kth largest element in a sequence of events that is presented one element at a time. So basically a stream, okay? The length of the sequence is not known in advance and could be very large. Find the kth largest element in a stream. All right. Okay, let me see what you got here. High-low pseudocode example, code inefficiency, couldn't come with a better solution. Coding improved not the highest level solution. So you couldn't like actually get to the top one. So let's see. So you're just gonna use the k largest elements. That's fine. We recognize that pattern. And so now what is the inefficiency that we got going? Add all elements to a list. Use quick select on a list at each step until elements found. Pick a random element partition. So like the quick select from quick sort. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So then now what was the inefficiency here?
So the inefficiency is that I'm storing the entire stream in a list.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, that like for the most improved solution that I have, the quick select one is basically okay. I'm storing the entire stream in a list. That is the fastest solution we can get up to O of N.
Yes.
For finding the kth largest, but so now it's a matter of improving the space. But how can I improve the space? Since we have a stream, how can I utilize the stream to find the kth largest element? Like my first idea was, okay, what happens if we just find the kth largest element of k elements, and then I just keep on iterating over it, but I couldn't. And then I got lost and like, okay, how am I going to do this exactly? Find the kth largest, like having a window of size k and just finding the kth largest element of that. But then I wouldn't really know which is the kth element exactly inside my windows. But yeah. And then that was, I just ended it with, okay, let's just end with putting the entire stream inside a list and then finding the kth largest there.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So then let's see what the delta on the book is. Stay on space, find only the kth largest element algorithm on every k minus 1 elements, and delete the k elements. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Inefficiency. Don't keep. So the inefficiency was just don't keep track of the entire stream. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
which is fine. Which is basically taking the same idea from your minimum heap of K elements, right? Because it only contains K elements.
Yeah, and then like the inefficiency of that was we don't really need to keep track of the K largest elements.
Mm-hmm.
And that came with the quick select, which was okay. Let's just find the one K largest. But I didn't think to like combine the two. Then I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For just.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think to combine the 2
Mhm.
because I didn't know like, I didn't think of, I guess deleting. No, I couldn't think of performing only on a smaller subset and then
Mhm.
expanding that to the general subset.
Okay.
A setup, I guess.
That's fine. Yeah, so it's a small oversight, but you had the pieces there, right? It's just that you just need to take the same idea from the kth largest, the min heap K, and then just apply it to your quick select.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a small oversight, but at least you had the pieces. You were pretty close. So it's like, again, you asked the right questions. It's just, oh, I needed to think of that. And you asked the right questions. That's the thing, and I'm happy with that. It's just that, oh, you just need to take this one idea, which is like, okay, well, it's a mistake. You'll remember it in the future, I think. At this point,
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm hoping.
Mhm. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know. I'm just saying, like, I hope I remember mistakes because generally, I feel like, okay, I make the same mistake twice
Mhm.
some of the time, and then, okay, and then it start getting ingrained inside my head. I just
Mhm.
hope that second mistake doesn't happen during the interview, sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll happen. The thing is that we never really get over silly mistakes. That's the kind of thing. But what we can do is be aware of them and kind of like, hopefully it catches us at the right time in the future.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you, I've failed so many tests because I couldn't, well, not really fail. I missed so many questions that were difference between like an A and a B because on a test, because I thought for the longest time that there were 50 cards in a deck, and my mind
yeah,
never my mind never made that switch to 52.
Yeah.
So it's like something that's like super non-trivial, that's super trivial and not even related to math. Like, it fucks me on probability every single time, even to this day. When like people ask me a deck of cards, I still think it's 50. That's my first instinct.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
So it's okay. Like, these things happen. It's just like being aware that these things happen. That's the key thing. So here is just like, okay, well, all I need to do was just combine maybe what I thought the efficiencies of the two things I had going, or the or just being able to realize that, hey, order N can go down to order K. I don't know. It's like the tool I would use is try to combine pieces of previous iterations and attempts. That's probably the tool I would learn here.
Yeah. I think generally the solution I was like, okay, let's improve on one aspect,
Mhm.
and then discard. Usually, I just discard the old solution.
Yes.
Like, okay, we improved upon that.
Mhm.
We just need to think of. I never thought of merging the two previous
Mhm.
solutions that I had before. Like, usually it's just okay. Let's just improve on the last one,
Mhm.
sort of thing, and then I discard that idea that I used for the previous solution.
So that's gonna happen. And the thing is that the reason why we do this this efficiency iteration is because there's something in the previous solution that worked. That's what we're trying to go after. That's why we do these. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anyway, so last one.
This one was the bit one I didn't really
Don't
understand.
worry about
the
it.
solution too well.
Okay, that's fine. But overall, like your mechanical skill is completely is all there. I can actually read your fucking code and actually understand it. And that's a good thing.
Big improvement since first time.
Yeah, took you like 4 goddamn weeks, but hey, it worked. So, yeah, now I can actually understand what you're doing. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so make sure like when it comes time to actual interview, make sure like all the stuff that you talk, like the pseudocode here, make sure you're able to talk it out. We'll do a test of it on this weekend, but because your interview is in 6 days, so.
Yeah. Generally, I'm still a little bit more confident if I do at least get out the high level steps for it.
Mhm.
Even if I do understand, I feel a lot more confident if I do read it out just a little bit. Like in 187, like use select on the list. Like okay, I can say it, but I'd like to at least write out exactly
Mhm.
the step and what we should do on it.
That's fine. As long as the translation to code is very, very fast.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only thing I care about. If you're going to do that route, you need to make the interviewer. There has to be some payoff, right? But
Yeah.
I would rather, like I said, rather you have the safety rails if it means that you can be more efficient later on.
Okay.
Okay. And like what M said, make sure you think about like what can go wrong. Make sure you test your code, and each time you make a change, you make a test.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else for you unless you have like other issues because I think from now, like for the next 6 days, I want you to like not do the what's it called, the honors classes, because that's like way too esoteric, but it's really meant to help you fine tune your problem solving. Now I want you to try doing some leak code that are tagged with like the Google questions.
Okay, yeah. Leak code, Google tag. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I just yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm still. No, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think yeah. I'll go do the Google tag questions.
Mhm.
Yeah. How many? No, it's more like Do you think like a number is good for Google tag questions, or should I just focus still, like, or like it's just like get as many as I can, but having the same good approach sort of thing, like, and keep improving upon the approach.
Yeah, nothing does. We're not gonna change anything that we've done here. We're just gonna do the exact same thing. We'll just keep doing the problems and try to refine our approach. That's all we care about. Making sure our approach is better and better and better. That I could have done this better. I could have done that better. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Google tag questions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you'll be very surprised how well you do on leak code questions, or maybe you still have some other issues. In which case, we can talk about those. So.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think, my main areas of weakness is still a little bit of DP and bits for sure, but we don't really care about those too much. And optimization upon the original solutions. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh man, this thing smells like it's burning outside. But okay. Yeah. Anyway, if that's the case, then I guess I can let you go early, unless there's other things you want to chat about.
I guess not. Oh, no. I mean, regarding questions, not really too much. It's just a little bit of optimization that could be fixed. But yeah, I mean, nothing much. I guess I can get back to coding up some of the problems in
Mhm.
Google Tag. But yeah.
Yeah.
So focus on the Google Tag questions for until our like for now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any
Okay.
questions about like the chat we had with M before you?
I mean, no real questions. Like I saw it. It was
Mhm.
pretty like self-explanatory. Like
Okay.
nothing really questions, I guess.
Okay, that's good. All right, then I'll let you go.
All right.
All right.
Cheers, Edward.
All right. Cheers and good luck studying. 6 days.
Thanks. Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Thanks. Cheers.
All right. Any questions from the crowd now? Do I watch Gork? No. Actually, it's been a while since I like regularly watched Dota. I haven't like played that much. I've only like recently played like a few games recently actually. And before that I haven't been playing for like 2 months almost. So to me like I still watch Dota occasionally when it comes on Twitch, but it's not like I go out of my way to like play or watch anymore. I think most of my time now is like spent reading. Seriously. I think like hold up. What's a good example? Yeah, like hold up. So the thing, like, I've been mostly reading the books by Atul Granawad, or how do we pronounce his name? Yeah, so these ones, this guy's a doctor who basically talked about his medical profession and this nature of medicine and state of medicine as it is. And one of the big ones is like this book called Better. Wait. Yeah, so Complications here is like stories about surgery, about medicine, and like how it's an imperfect science. There is one. Let me get that book actually. Hold on. This one. So this book called Better, it's basically a surgeon's note on performance, and so what he does is try to show how surgeons try to improve and learn. So one of them, and like their craft, right? Because medicine's like an imperfect science and all that. And so they have like a system of like watch one, do one, teach one, and that apparently is like one of the best ways for the people to actually really pound in all the things that they learned into their head. You know, there's all the other ones like what they had like a story about pregnancy, I think, and then how there needs to be a better way of actually handling pain, and especially when dealing with the unknown. Let's see, what else? I think there was a story about like some doctor who basically got sued for malpractice, even though he, he just took on a lot of patients. He was making a lot of money, but basically what ended up happening was that he got sued for malpractice and then just like stopped. And the reason why was because once he did so many operations and stuff, he was starting to screw up on like a few of them, right? And he wasn't even realizing he was screwing up or like hurting his patients in some way. And so because of that, like he basically was just taking on more just to make more money. So that was like a story about there. Oh yeah, there's one about like trying to vaccinate a bunch of people in some remote village, and because a big part of the effort actually centers on how they treat people, not like the vaccination, but like how they communicate what they're trying to do when they're going to rural villages to vaccinate children against like polio. It's a part of it is also like the parents' cooperation. And so, like, if you try to force the vaccination on them, they don't trust the government, right? So, they basically, you end up in this situation where you're like, oh, yeah, that we need to vaccinate these kids, but the parents won't let us. And if you just try to force it, the parents end up, like, resisting it more. So, it's like a little bit of backfire effect. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this story about what's it called? A doctor who turned into a lawyer who sues doctor as well. That's one. Yeah, I think so. It's basically like books like this, and then like some other stuff like the Google founders letters. I actually recommend people read them. It's actually pretty interesting the way they think about how to think about Google as a business. I'll spoil a little bit for you. It's just trying to get Google into every part of people's lives and make it better. And then there's also the what's called the 10K here, which is their annual filing. I'm just looking up random stuff. Like any red flags I see, how to value the business, etc., etc. So most of my time is actually just spent doing that. Anyway, so I guess that was like an awfully long tangent, but that's mostly what I've been up to. I was just mostly reading. So anyway, I guess since there's no more questions, I will turn off the stream. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you guys learned something from that. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation I had with M about his Microsoft offer. Hopefully hearing the numbers, and it's been like 4 months since I started with him, so it's been a real treat to finally see it all come to fruition. And so we'll have one more stream this Saturday for Jay to see if he can, if he makes enough progress, and hopefully get him ready for his Google interview on Tuesday. So with that, thank you all for watching. Feel free to follow me on my socials and join the Discord. Link is in the description down below. Also, if you guys are interested in coaching yourselves and want to be coached, you can book me for interview coaching at eachhandtech.com. Description below again. And I'll see y'all next time.